Hello and welcome to today's video on the topic of light and transformation. In today's video I'm going to talk to you about the idea of the phoenix. So this is the phoenix. This is one of 3 works on this topic from this period. And you might ask where the phoenix is, because again, it's a rather abstract work, but let me introduce you to this human phoenix. Actually, it's a human-shaped phoenix. It's supposed to be the phoenix within each and every one of us. So maybe you can see the wings here, right? Like feathers. And then here are the arms with the hand at the end. This is the front of the chest. Another arm here. And here you can see the neck. So the phoenix is like rising up from its own ashes, right? The human phoenix rising up. This is the chin. This is the nose here, seen from the bottom, and that's the head, like throwing back like this. Okay. So I'm still very intrigued by the idea of the phoenix, and I find it very, very interesting for our current times, but I will talk about this later in this video. The phoenix for me is the idea of the ultimate idea of self-empowerment. It's destroying and rebirthing yourself. It's a process of the idea of transformation, basically, but a transformation that is happening through myself and by myself. So the phoenix rises, it burns itself. It's a bird that burns itself and then rises up from its own ashes. So there is this constant idea of death and rebirth in the phoenix story. And this is interesting because going back to the previous works I showed you, where you have this black and white dynamic, this idea of light coming out of the darkness, but there is this cold light, right? So there is this kind of objectivity to it when it's cold and blue, and now it's completely different. The fire is coming in, so you could see that in the last video I'm showing you how out of these black and white cold objective forms, all of a sudden there is this glow within, this fire within, and we don't know yet what it is. So maybe it's the egg of the phoenix, right? Could be. And this fire is now spreading like a phoenix, like poof, and this phoenix is rising up from its own ashes, and these ashes could be still part of him or her. It's just both sexes, actually. So we see these gray areas, and you can perceive them either as ashes or maybe the cold fire. So these areas are already becoming cold. It's not glowing anymore, like hot, like lava, but it's already cooled down, right? And this phoenix is rising up in this majestic, forceful movement, rising up and being like also opening up, the chest area, the heart area, everything like opening up to this new movement upwards, right? I love the Phoenix subject, and as I said, I'm showing you now a few of the works that are also on the topic of the Phoenix. This one is shown with arms spread to the side. It's more static, and it's also very abstract, and it's still in the stage of, it's not flying yet, it's spread its wings, but it's a human shape again. And you can see that there is this glow within these dark energy lines, but this phoenix is not flying yet, it's starting to move around. And in this one, it's even the stage before that. It's like lying down still. Also here, you can perceive a human shape with the head, with this circular form in the center. And then you have the arms spread to the side and the rest of the body. And on the back of this figure, there is something like an old self, like another body, and this body looks like something that this phoenix wants to leave behind, burn down and leave behind. What I love about the phoenix motif right now in our human history, so to speak, or human evolution, is that I feel it is a very fitting symbol for the current state of the world, for our current state as humanity in general. We are in between two worlds. We are shifting from the old worldview, from the old paradigm of materialism and rationalism into a new one, into a new world that we are asked to build, to create, to co-create together. And that means that we need to go through this process of transformation, of leaving behind what we no longer need from the old world, burning down what is not longer needed, and taking with us, absorbing, and rising up from these ashes into a new world. And this process is, of course, something that starts within, and this is something that each and every one of us, each individual, needs to go through. This is actually a very natural process in psychological terms, but also in physical terms. We all know that. We go through experiences and come full circle, learn from this experience, and then we go to the next one. So this is like a spiral going up. It shouldn't be like a circle, running in circles and having only one certain experience again and again. Actually, transformation means you come full circle, you have made your experience, and now you transform what you no longer need and switch to the next experience, where you again go through a circle, come full circle, and then you again transform what is no longer needed and rise up from the ashes to the next experience. Now I've written more about this idea in my manifesto for a new art entitled BEARTHUMANITY. In this manifesto, I talk more about the role of art as a tool for metaphysical self-exploration, to know thyself. I feel that this process of transformation, the process of the phoenix rising, the phoenix that burns itself and then rises up from its own ashes, is the ultimate symbol of self-empowerment. And self-empowerment means to know yourself, to know all your darkness and to know all your light. And of course, this is a lifelong process, and we are, as I said, spiraling up. So it's not about, okay, I've learned one thing and this is it. It's just, it never ends. It never ends. You see, you understand and make more and more experiences, more and more refined experiences maybe, but it's always this constant process of transformation and the phoenix that dies and rebirths itself. And this rebirth out of yourself is what happens time and again. It's always us who rebirth themselves into new stages in life, into new jobs, relationships, into a new year, into a new me, right? And art can help us do that. This is why I'm doing these videos, because I want to invite you to let my art inspire you on this journey of self-exploration, on this journey of becoming a phoenix, and birthing yourself from your own ashes. We need to transform the old way, the old materialistic, nihilistic, rationalist worldview that says it's either or, it's either me or you, the winner takes it all. This fragmentation where the parts are fighting each other instead of co-creating things. So the misunderstood idea of polarity, that light and shadow are actually fighting each other. No, they're not. They're sides of the same coin, and the coin exists because it has two sides. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist at all. So we are changing now. We are on our way to learn the both and mentality, which is light and dark co-create. They create the coin, they create us. So we are made of both, and it doesn't make any sense to let them fight, but it makes all sense to let them co-create, to be complementary, to complement each other. So this is what the phoenix also is about, to be aware of this light and darkness, the fire and the ashes within yourself, and to use this process of constant change. Whether we like it or not, it is a constant change, a constant movement, because life is this movement of death and rebirth. Death and rebirth, we have it in our bodies. Our cells are dying and new cells are birthed. Okay, so once we get into this feeling of this constant change and the both and mentality, we can co-create a new world with other people, with other individuals. But for that, we first need to open up to ourselves, to go on this inner journey and be brave enough to step into the darkness, into our fires, into our ashes, and feel into our willingness to overcome stagnation, overcome the ashes, and want to and the need to stay where we are, the comfort zone, the known, and step into the unknown. We will do this at some point, each of us. But the question is, what is more uncomfortable? To stay where you are or where you were? In the known world that is going down? Or is it more painful to make the first step into the new world? You have to decide this for yourself. I personally believe that there comes a time where it's so painful to stay where you were or where you are that you must make a first step. And at some point, each and every one of us will get at this stage of pain that will push us forward. It will push us forward into something new. But you get to decide if you want life to force you there, to force you out of your comfort zone, or if you're a phoenix who is able to do this for themselves, to understand that something needs to be released, something needs to be understood, overcome, so that you can evolve, birth yourself into a new world, into a new you, into a new phase. Well, these are big concepts, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I invite you to have longer look on this painting, I will leave it here for you for a little longer. And other than that, I'm happy you stayed with me until the end. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked it, share it. And I invite you to go to my website and have a look at other paintings. If you're intrigued by this, there is also a web shop with smaller available artworks. Other than that, take care and see you in the next video.